What's up? What's up, everybody? We are talking about politics today. I wanted to go ahead and kind of mention a few things because I didn't really talk about the quote unquote big beautiful bill, which isn't beautiful at all. And then as well as there's this Iranian Trump supporter whose wife is now detained by ICE, and he does not regret his vote. These are the people that you see, out in the streets. They're fighting for these kind of people who don't even regret their vote. So we're going to go ahead and break all that down. But let me first play the intro. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. You already know what it is. Oh, and how did I forget? Elon is starting a third party. Look at me with the U.S. flag trying to be patriotic and shit. What's up, beautiful? How you doing? What's up, Nene? What's up, Shawnee? What's up, Destiny? Hello. Thank y'all for being here. I appreciate y'all. Like I said, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. So what do I want to start out with first? Let me go ahead and just break this down. Oh, I probably should have raised the camera so the microphone is not. Hold on, let me move my microphone like this. Hold on, let me see. No, you can still see it in the corner. Okay, there we go. But can you see the cup, though? Shout out to the hospital picture crew. Okay, there we go. No, you can't see it. Okay, let me move like in the middle. Is this the middle? Y'all gonna get what y'all gonna get. But anyway, what's up, everybody? You can still hear me, right? Okay. I'm just gonna leave it in the bottom of the screen. It ain't bothering nobody. And I talk loud enough, so I know y'all can hear me, right? Good. What's up, Winnie? Okay, so anyway, so for those of you who don't know, the big beautiful bill, yeah, the one that's going to slash Medicare and a whole bunch of other things, yeah, that finally did get passed. They signed it yesterday on July 4th. What a day to sign a bill that's going to strip people away from, their Medicare. Now, here's the thing. All that stuff is not going to go into effect until 2026 and the years after that. So there is a provision in there where you're going to have to sign up every 6 months if you're on Medicare. And I think this is kind of symbolic in a way. And maybe symbolic is the wrong word. For those of you who don't know, remember there was the Obamacare thing. And so a lot of people didn't realize the Affordable Care Act is Obamacare, but they kept calling the Affordable Care Act Obamacare, so that negative stereotype, like, oh, I don't want no Obamacare, not realizing that's the Affordable Care Act, not realizing that's the same thing. So with Medicare in California, for me, it's called Medi-Cal. So a lot of people don't know what it's actually called in their state. Now, there's a thing that I posted on Instagram. I should have posted it on here, but look up what Medicare is in your state because you might be on it. You might be on it and not even realize because it's called something different in your state, right? So that's what a lot of people don't realize. Like they think that it's just called Medicare for everybody. No, every state calls it something differently. So with that being said, yeah, a lot of y'all going to be SOL, but hey, it is what it is, right? But the thing is that people don't realize, like us who have private insurance, we're all going to be SOL because I don't know if you guys know. So when somebody goes to the hospital, right, they still get service. Like in emergency situations, you still can get served. Because the hospitals have an obligation. So with that being said, what ends up happening is that, okay, well, they're not getting the hospitals aren't getting any of that funding back. So what they're going to do, they're going to then in turn charge the insurance companies that are going to in turn raise our rates up. And then we'll end up paying more in health insurance to cover for it. Then if it gets so bad where the hospital ends up in debt, they'll just shut down. And that's what they're doing in these rural areas. In these rural areas, they are shutting down the hospitals because they know they can't afford to stay open. They've already started before the bill even got passed. You know, everybody does a budgeting to see how their budgeting is going to be. So they're already budgeting to where they're shutting down hospitals. And like I said, people don't realize how that's going to in turn affect you. Of course, emergency under Reagan. And of course, you know, they passed the taxes for the wealthy, of course, for the corporations, because they don't care about us. Now, if you make under 50,000, your taxes actually increase. If you make over 50,000, then you do get like a little bit of money. But the way that it's structured is that poor people end up paying more. Instead of it being the opposite, where people who got money pays their fair share, no, the more you make, the more you get back. The less you make, you basically will start to owe. So yeah. And that whole trickle down economics, that has never been proven to be a thing like that actually worked. Trickle down economics. For those of you who don't know, that's when the rich, they get so many in tax cuts and these tax credits that they create more jobs, they give more better wages and all that. They don't do that. There's a reason why those people stay so rich, because they don't give money out like that. They don't give money out like that, and especially for free 99. Like, they ain't giving their money out. Yeah, Nichelle, that is crazy. Shake my head. The people wanted this, right? Those crazy evangelicals, yeah, got the nerve to exactly. They want to pray. They prayed for this. They prayed to make people suffer. Wow. What a prayer. Yeah. So, oh, and then I forgot what the tax cut is. What is the tax cut for the wealthy? Because I thought it was 12%. Is it 12%? I know it's 20% right now, but what did it go to? Because it went lower. It went lower than what it was. It's because it's not going to be 20%. What was it going to be? Damn, why can't I find? I should have looked this up beforehand, you guys. My apologies. You know, I just go off the dome. I don't do. Okay, this also this article that I'm looking at, it tells you like the other stuff that they're getting rid of. They're making cuts to public safety as far as FEMA. You remember last year during the hurricane when it was Biden in office, they were like, he only giving people $750. Well, you're lucky if you get $750 because they cut all that. Mind you, Texas is flooded right now. What's up, Lucky? Texas is flooded. Did y'all hear about Texas? What's going on? I told to my stepsister, I was like, hey, are you okay? She was like, yeah, like what? And I was like, yeah, there's like flooding. And she was like, oh, that's not by me. So I was like, oh, okay. And I know Texas is big, but again, and I think the total count of people who died is like 34 people so far. Which in turn they'll say, oh, well, that's not a large number, so who cares? You know how they think, right? The Drug Enforcement Administration, of course, cuts to education. I already told you guys that in California, next year they're cutting a lot of the after-school programming and summer school programming. Defund Planned Parenthood. Yeah, all that's getting cut. Okay, so I don't know the exact tax rate that is being changed to, but it's somewhere in the teens. That's what the new tax rate is going to be for the rich and corporations. Yeah, it's not going away. It's just they're cutting it. Let me see. Basically, what they're doing is like, hey, you can go ahead and pay for it yourself, basically, like as far as the states are going to now pay for it, which If you're a state that does no state taxes, where do you get that extra money from? You get it from the Fed. So if the Feds is cutting the funding that you're getting, then how are you going to be able to pay for it? 40. Oh, it's 43. Thank you for the correction, Diane. Yeah, 43 people. Wow. That's probably why I didn't hear from my client this evening. She is in Texas. I have to check on her. Oh shit. Yeah, Lucky. Make sure you check on her. I know they've been having like storms down there and stuff like that. So possibly she could just be in a bad storm and the reception is bad. Y'all know Stephanie, our favorite cousin Stephanie. The reason why her internet be tripping is because she lives like out in some rural area. Like, yeah, she lives like basically in the boondocks, you know. Like they still got dial-up internet there. That's why her internet connection be so bad. But yeah, so again, all these different programs are being cut. They're making cuts to those. So now it's like, and that's the other thing too. They expect like, okay, well, if we're making cuts, then people will be willing to donate and make up the difference. That's not always true. It's not always true. And you know, Texas got that grid too. They got the grid. They don't run on the same power system as everybody else. They got that grid. So that's why when that storm happened, I want to say 4 years ago, remember that big storm where it was snowing in Texas and stuff like that, and it knocked out the power? Like, yeah, it's because they're on that grid thing. Oh, you live in a rural area? Shout out to everybody in the rural areas. Yeah, imagine what it's going to be in 2 years. Yeah. And you know what? Republicans are so smart because basically all these things go into effect like 2026 through 2027, 2028. So like say if the new president comes in and it happens to be a Democrat, they'll be able to play the game. Oh, well, this is the Democrats' fault that things are rising, things are going up, blah, 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 blah. You see the game? They play the long game. Democrats need to learn that. South Carolina as well. And 27 people are missing. Yeah, definitely prayers for everybody down there affected by it. You know? Yeah, and that's when Ted Cruz fled to Mexico. Now, when he fled to Mexico, that should have been the end of him. Texas, why wasn't that the end of Ted Cruz when he fled to Mexico while y'all was dealing with that storm? That should have been career suicide. I can't say the real, excuse me. Y'all know I want to say the word with the S, but I don't want to trigger anything. So suicide, that should have been it for him. Trump has been denying, yes, disaster fund. Yeah, in Arkansas too. Shout out to Kay. She's from Arkansas as well too. Why did I do that accent? She's from Arkansas as well too. Yeah. But as I know, she's not affected by what went on in the area. Yeah, voting against their own interests. Right. Why do the white people who don't like Hispanics always flock to Cancun? Interesting. Very interesting. And have the nerve to wear sombrero on Cinco de Mayo. Y'all are crazy. See, y'all be getting me to cut up. Y'all always be getting me to cut up here. That's why they don't like me. Okay, so yeah, so that's the big beautiful bill. And you guys know that Elon has been one of those people to be against the bill. And now Trump is claiming because of those electric vehicle credits, he's upset about that. I don't know what it is, but Elon is claiming that it's the deficit. So the deficit will be raised by 4 trillion. And the Republicans are saying, we're going to make so much money that that's not even going to affect us, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we'll see about it. Real quick, before we move to Elon, I just want to show you, because also one of the provisions is that they're going to make sure all these illegals are off of Medicare, and they're going to make sure that able-bodied people are able to work. So I want to show you guys the actual chart. Now, this is from 2023, but 44% of people on Medicare, they actually do work full-time. And even part-time, 20% of them actually work. Then you get into the numbers where you see not working due to caregiving. So these are like the caregivers that take care of, their kids or somebody disabled. It's 12%. So are you saying that you're going to cut them off? Like, instead of taking care of their loved ones who are disabled, you're going to cut them off of Medicaid? Then you have not working due to illness or disability, 10%. So are you telling me those people that have been put on Medicaid by their doctors because they physically cannot work or do anything, you're going to kick them off? Then you have not working due to school attendance. Now this one I'm in between, because yo asked me to go to work, but there are some... Oh, shut up! Don't judge me. The 7% right here, I can go back and forth with you. I can see a reason for it, and I can see a reason against it, right? But if they get a little job, they can get a little job right there. And then, oh, shut up! Don't judge me. All right, and then this one, not working due to retirement, inability to find work, or other reasons. That one is kind of like, okay, you can't find work, but then, that's also to do with age as well too, right? So it's a lot. It's going to affect seniors, people with HIV, people who need dialysis treatment. And and Sean, thank you for bringing that up, because as far as research, they have cut funding for research for HIV as far as finding a cure. Also for cancer research too, as well. They don't care about anybody who's sick. They don't care. They don't give a damn. But yeah, so that's 7 and 8%. So that's about what's that, y'all? 14% right there. No, 15. Sorry, I didn't finish college, y'all. 15% right there. Yeah, they can work. Oh, well, some of them, not all of them. I can go back and forth with you, but everybody else, you try to make them work. Like, what's wrong with you? So again, right here, share working 64 million of people who actually work. So that's 16.6 million of people who are actually working on Medicaid. So this whole notion that they're just sucking up off the government and all this stuff. Now, I wish they would break it down by race, because the more people on welfare is the white folks. But for whatever reason, when they talk about welfare or any social programs, they always have us as the face, even though it's not most of us who are on it. And a lot of times, most of us, we denied all that shit. I know during the pandemic, remember the pandemic, they said you could get food stamps? They denied my ass. They said I made way too much, which I thought if you were in the pandemic and you were affected and lost your job due to the pandemic, you got food stamps. They told me no. They told me no. So yeah, we get denied for shit. Lisa, you was denied too? And shout out to Lisa. Lisa is one of my favorite new content creators. Hopefully she don't end up like the rest and turn her back on me, but I love Lisa. It's a catch-22 because they increased the work requirements to 80 hours per week to qualify, but now they are going to say they make too much money. Ding, 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 ding. Lucky lady got it. She got it. Thank you. I was just about to get into that too. That's what they do. So it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. But the system is not created to help you at all. Just know they don't care about us. Like Michael Jackson said, all I want to say is that they don't really care about us. That's what Michael Jackson said, and they really don't. All I want to say is that they don't really care about us. They don't. They don't give a damn. Every 2 weeks. I think Lisa, Lady Luck, you meant every 2 weeks, right? Like, basically you work full time. That's what they want. Oh, is it 80 a month? Oh, hold on. Let me correct that. Well, here's the thing. I think it depends on about how much you like, what's your hourly rate? Like, you know, me living in California, shit, I haven't made minimum wage in a long time, but I think minimum wage where I am is like $18. Minimum wage in Arkansas is probably still the $7.25 or whatnot. So my 80 hours is different from the person. So it depends on where you live, you know. And I hope you're making more than 80. Okay, 80 hours per month. Okay. Okay, got you. But yeah, but all in all, they're gonna raise the requirement for work, and then it's gonna end up putting you over, and then you're not gonna be able to get it no way. So yeah, South Carolina $7.25. Okay, yeah, see, and that's something else too. They need to raise the minimum wage. Like that's who next time in 2028. That's what they need to be talking about, the minimum wage, how to raise that. All right, so let's move on to Elon, Miss Elania. Elania, I love it. So this is what this fool talking about, right? He said, Independence Day is the perfect time to ask if you want independence from a two-party system. Some would say uniparty system. Should we create the America Party? First of all, he's not American, but okay. So he goes, by a factor of 2-1, you want a new political party and you shall have it. When it comes to bankrupting our country with waste and graft, we live in a one-party system, not a democracy. Today, the American Party is formed to give you back your freedom. So he is starting a third party. This is what Elania Trump wants to do, is start a third party. But Elania Musty Trump, we do not want your third party. We don't want you to have nothing to do with politics, you know? And thank you, Parks. I appreciate the donation. Thank you. We don't want you to have nothing to do with politics. We want you to stay out because it's still up for if you rig the election. That's still up for discussion. And by the way, that Rockland County, that whole lawsuit against the Rockland County, you know, the one that said in certain districts, Kamala had 0 votes. Well, in September is when they go back to court for that one. So we'll have an update. But, you know, we still think you rigged that election. So, you know, it's still up on you. They need to deport. Yes, they need to deport him immediately. Exactly. Or revoke his citizenship. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, he is mad at Trump. He even was talking about opening back up them files again as far as the Epstein files. And so he is now against Trump because they're raising the deficit. Mind you, that whole DOGE thing was supposed to cut funding or waste, and now they're increasing the waste. So it's all like, well, what's going on? What they're doing? Now, here's the thing. I never thought they were actually cutting waste. What I thought was that they were trying to cut programs to, in turn, pay for this new tax cut that the wealthy is getting, and so he can fund all his subsidies. Because now that they're beefing again, Trump said, oh, we should have DOGE investigate Elania Musty Trump because he gets all these subsidies. The subsidies that he gets equate to about 44 billion, I believe. I think it's even more than that. I think it's in like the 200s or something like that. Let me see if I can find that real quick. I was about to put Elania. How much does Elon Musk get from the government? $38 billion. So Elon businesses have received approximately $38 billion in government funding through contracts, loans, subsidies, and tax credit. Okay, $38 billion. Okay, sorry, I put too much on it. $38 billion. So yeah. So we should definitely look at that. So mind you, the whole time that he was ahead of DOGE and they were cutting shit, he was getting deals and shit like that, like the $400 million for Cybertrucks. Nobody wants those fucking ugly ass Cybertrucks, but he got $400 million, right? So he's been able to make sure that he aligns his company in his pockets. Also, remember the whole air traffic control thing? That's still an issue, by the way. That hasn't gone away. That's still an issue. He actually was trying to get his people from SpaceX in the air traffic controls. Just like the Starlink with the internet, he's trying to get that in more places and stuff like that. The reason why he hates his home country of South Africa is because they don't want his shit there. You have to make sure that 30% of the 30% of the profit is going to the black South Africans. He don't want to do that because he's a racist piece of shit. Simple as that. That's what's really going on. I actually left a comment under the neighborhood talk because they had talked about this, right? Let me see if I can find my comment real quick. Hold on. Okay, so the comment that I left is don't forget Elon helped put this party into the White House, because now he wants to start this new party. But I'm all like, dude, you the one who put this party in the White House, and you allegedly rigged the election. But anyway, he's the one spreading misinformation about a white genocide, talking about the South Africans. There is no white genocide. He blames being woke for his daughter being trans. He hates his trans daughter. He said it was the woke mind virus that made his daughter trans. Well, something could have happened. You weren't in your daughter's life. You are an absentee father, and you still don't take care of your motherfucking kids. You deadbeat. And then also I said he pushes the narrative of anti-whiteness. He says, like, now everybody's racist against white people. He pushes that narrative, which is a lie. And then I said, please don't be fooled by the immigrant who's against immigrants. That's what I said. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They make him the richest man. They do. Yes, and they cut jobs too. Did y'all know, like, so it's crazy since they cut out the DEI and all that in the federal jobs, which a lot of black people work federal jobs. The black unemployment has actually gone up since that has happened. I find that very interesting. Because remember his first term, when the economy was actually under Obama, but during his first term, he bragged about black unemployment. Now you don't hear him saying that. You hardly hear him say anything about black people or anybody of color. Oh, and the veterans too. See, learn something new. Thank you for that, Go. Yes, that's what he pushes. Muskie, I love when y'all call him that. Muskie got a lot of those subsidies from the Democrats under Obama, if I'm not mistaken. Well, here's the thing. He was trying. I think he did get some under Obama, but remember during the Biden administration, he was trying to get some subsidies and then they denied him or something because he couldn't prove that Starlink actually could work in rural areas. And so they denied him some subsidies. And then that's when he actually turned against the Democrats and he became, he was like pro-Trump and shit like that. I have to look up the article again, but I'll send it to you if I find it. But if you look it up, you'll see. Because federal jobs were always safe jobs. And so we were always encouraged to get yeah. They always said you want to work for the government. That's how I grew up. Like, you always want to work for the government. I tried to work for the IRS. I tried Social Security so many damn times. Y'all, they denied me every time. But I learned what it was. You got to know somebody in there so they can pull your application. That's how you get chosen. That's the only way that you get chosen. If you know somebody ahead of the hiring and shit like that, like, because they don't let you. They don't let you. Oh, okay. Initiated under Obama. Okay, got you. Yeah, my dad was a postman for 35 years. Good job. Yeah, it's a very good job. You know, you always want that job where you can retire with a pension and all that. That's the kind of work that you want to do. Yo, I'm a little worried about getting like to that point because I'm all like, oh shit, I haven't set nothing in place to cover me when I get old. I don't plan on being a YouTuber at 60. Yo, I gotta have some investment properties or something. I don't plan on being a YouTuber at 60. Like, I plan on sitting my ass down and chilling. Like, yeah, this is cool for now, but when I get 60, something gotta kick off for me. I can't be doing it. Especially fighting with these YouTubers. I don't plan on doing that in my 60s, y'all. I'm trying to be stress-free. I'm trying to live a long, healthy life. I don't plan on doing that to my 60s. All right, but anyway, I want to go ahead and show you guys this video. So I don't know if you guys know, but these Iranian nationals, they are all getting arrested. Now, the interesting thing is that it's not just because they are, well, no, I take that back. No, it's because they are from Iran. Yeah. Because you know how we in it with Iran, they're trying to round them all up. Now, I want to go ahead and play this one first. This video is actually of a Trump supporter, Iranian Trump supporter, whose wife is detained. And he said he still don't regret his vote. So let's go ahead and check out this video. Hey, he don't regret his vote. I don't feel bad. I'm just saying. Here we go.
Meanwhile, an Iranian woman detained by federal agents, she and her family, all supporters of President Trump. See the MAGA hats. President Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf live for us in Diamond Bar. And Matthew, those Trump flags staying up tonight.
Yeah, those flags staying up. This family still supports Donald Trump despite their mom being detained. The final moments home for an Iranian woman detained by immigration agents. Thank you. A mother Monday going inside to say bye to her 4 kids.
She came and kissed the kids and that was it. That's the last time I saw her.
A proud President Trump supporting family in Diamond Bar.
Election time was here. I had a full 3-4 flags out.
Even while their mom faces immigration questions. Has your opinion changed on this?
That's a good question. Somewhat it has. Just because I'm going through it. I was very selfish before. But what I see right now is, okay, there's a reason for it.
Arthur Sahakian's wife.
So he said, oh, I see there's a reason for it. So basically, let it keep playing. But to add on to this comment, somebody else said in the comment section, they were like, I think he called them on his wife on purpose. He probably got him a whole nother family, a new woman and everything. His wife just doesn't know.
Wife Arpaneh was born in Iran and moved to the United States when she was 3 as a refugee.
She cashed a check, I believe it was less than $200, and this is all what it started.
Then, about 15 years ago, her green card was revoked over a conviction related to theft.
It's all misdemeanor stuff.
Arthur says they've been going through the legal process towards regaining citizenship with check-ins every 6 months or so.
She just went in and
look at his stupid ass. He got the hats and everything.
April, and they said, okay, you're fine, have a good day, we'll see you back in September or October.
Then last week, the United States bombed 3 nuclear sites in Iran, increasing tensions and concerns of Iranian sleeper cells retaliating in the U.S.
I'm very for of them seeing the Iranian nationals because of the sleeper cells. I understand that.
Federal sources tell Fox News that more than 130 Iranian nationals were detained in the U.S. this last week.
I think it will resolve a lot of issues because we'll know exactly who's in here for what reasons. Even though I miss her dearly, but I think we could do a better job of the cats.
Look at that little boy crying for his mom. And he's still just proud and happy.
I want you to see the national and do a background real quick and see if they have ties to the community and ties to families over here and let them go.
What do you think's going to happen?
I'm on the list to be going to a different facility.
Arpaneh speaking with us on the phone, uncertain about her future.
So she said, I'm on the list to be transferred to a different facility. She gonna be on her way out of here, y'all. Because usually they don't transfer you somewhere else. You usually stay in one location if they're, in the decision part. But if they're getting ready to get your ass up out of this country, that's when they usually transfer you. Oh, she out of here, y'all. She is gone. She up out of here.
Future. Any regrets with your vote?
None. Still supporting him.
While her family continues showing support for President Trump, hoping their mom comes home soon.
Trump is not trying to do anything bad. We understand what he's doing, and he wants the best for the country.
So right now, it's unclear if and when that mom could return home. Reporting live tonight, Matthew Seedorf. Fox.
Not one tear. No emotion at all. No emotion at all. Like, it's kind of like, you know, my wife's gone, but you know, we're happy that Trump is doing this. Sir, your wife might not be here anymore in this country. And mind you, they said from 15 years ago when she wrote a bad check or whatever, that's what she got in trouble for. So, yeah. And, you know, and I still don't understand when it comes to, like, how do you get citizenship? Because, mind you, she's married. And remember back in the day, they used to always say, oh, somebody wants to marry you for a green card. Well, how do you, so even if you're married, you still don't get any kind of citizenship or anything like that? Like, I still don't understand how that works. Like, how do you become a citizen?
Fox 11 News.
So the argument for getting rid of her would be what? That she's not in the country legally and she committed a crime?
Exactly. Basically, it sounds like she lost her green card about 15 years ago and since then has been fighting to get it back. So right now, she does not have that green card and is considered to be in the country illegally.
Yeah. Interesting. So this whole thing is a reminder that everybody has a different story and there's so many layers to it. And if you just talk in political slogans, it's not enough. You really have to listen to each and every person's story and try to make up individual decisions almost. All right, Matthew Seedorf, thank you for your reporting on this.
Oh, you have to change the green card. Okay, so that's how. Okay. Hold on, let me put this back up. There's one more video, y'all. Okay, that's how you do it. But because she had a prior, that she probably wasn't eligible anymore. So that's probably what it was. Again, there's probably more details to the story, but they're picking up all the Iranians. And the reason why is because they're trying to connect it to terrorism. They're trying to see if these 130 people are all terrorists. Mind you, I have an actual note about that. But let me pull up this video right now. What's the second video called? Here we go. And this kind of goes into detail a little bit.
This house on Bobcat Lane in Alpine is where Arkavan Miracorley has lived for 2 decades. Outside the locked gate hangs a sign displaying the Iranian immigrant's last name. Miracorley and his wife have 5 children, according to court records, some of them adults, others in their teens. Neighbors confirmed this photo of him posted on social media. They tell me he owns an automobile recycling business, which is why there are numerous vehicles parked on the property. But the 57-year-old is now in ICE custody pending removal proceedings. Federal agents arrested him Monday as part of a nationwide sweep targeting Iranian nationals from coast to coast. A total of 11 Iranians were arrested in 48 hours, including the one arrest here in San Diego County. The arrests appear to be in response to the bombing of Iran and the fear of retaliation inside the United States.
Several of the individuals who are picked up have prior removal orders against them. They all have criminal convictions.
Immigration attorney Saman Nasseri is not involved in the case, but he says immigrants with previous deportations or criminal records have been targets for ICE.
DHS.
So again, they want to frame it as we're trying to protect the country from terrorism, but the actual reason is because these people got priors. Like, that's the legal reason, because they either got priors or they were already supposed to be on the deportation list. So that's the, legal reason. But really, they're trying to connect it to terrorism, even though none of them have been proven to be connected to any kind of terrorist organization. That's what I wanted to point out to y'all.
Test doesn't have to make the case that they had some sort of terrorist connection or cell connection or something like that. These are easy pickups.
Court records show Mira Corley came to the United States from Iran in 1988 and was deported in 1990. He came back more than a decade later, and in 2001, he was convicted of forgery of an official seal, which can be related to fake documents, a conviction in Los Angeles that was later expunged. The only other crime on his record is a misdemeanor charge of petty theft. I did reach Mira Corley's.
So, it seemed like it was, so they said it was expunged, which means it's off his record, but he has a misdemeanor for petty theft. So even with a misdemeanor, I guess you can still get deported with a, damn. Ain't that something?
Wife on her cell phone, she said she was driving downtown to meet with an attorney. She also said she would do an interview with me later, but then she never returned my messages. In Alpine, David Gottfredson, CBS 8.
All right. So again, that's why I wanted to lay that out. Now I want to talk about the whole terrorism thing, because what they're saying is that they could have a connection to Iran and try to do an attack on us. I want to say something, because notice whenever they do that Muslim ban, or they ban like countries from entering in the U.S., the travel ban, it's not called a Muslim ban, but I mean, they do put a lot of Muslim countries on there, right? I wanted to go ahead and break this down for you as far as so you can type this into Google. So I said during 9/11, where did the terrorists, what country of origin did the terrorists come from? So it said 15 of the hijackers were Saudi Arabian citizens, but Saudi Arabia isn't on the travel ban list. The remaining 4 were from the UAE, Lebanon, and Egypt. Now they got those countries on there, they do, but Saudi Arabia, they don't have those. They don't have that country on the travel ban list. So again, not from Iran. And the sleeper cell, whatever, those are like planes. Like those aren't I think they're actually drones. They're not like people, like nobody has the capability of here doing it. So technically he just want to get all them Iranians up out of here. He want to, like, goodbye. And they can use this as the excuse, because who's going to check Trump? Nobody checks him. Everybody is literally afraid of Trump. The courts don't do anything. I mean, the courts try, but once it goes to the Supreme Court, most of those judges he put in the Supreme Court, yeah, they side with him. Also, green cards, you cannot redeem your Social Security number, payouts in retirement. I don't think. No, you can't. So they're almost working for paying taxes with no SSN or Social Security owed to them. Citizenship is where it's at, but some just want jobs. Yeah. And it's also expensive to get, citizenship. I know that's another thing. They don't make it easier for you to get that. Like I know somebody who I used to work with, and they said it was $40,000 for them to try to get them and their family to become citizens. I don't know whatever happened to them because they left the job. So I don't know if they ever got the citizenship or not, but I do know that it is expensive. Lorraine, I can't put your comment up, but I see it. I see it. The unbrowning of America. How much is that going to cost the American people? An $800 application fee. Wow. Because as I understand, you also have to get a lawyer as well, too. So, yeah. It's a lot to it. But again, I wanted to show that first video to show you like these people don't even think about their own family. Like if I knew like my wife could be deported by my choice, mind you, this couple happened to live in California. So did it matter their vote? No, because in California, obviously, it's a blue state, right? However, there's a lot of people that have his same mindset. They don't think about their wives or their parents or their grandparents. They literally thought for themselves and they thought it was going to be cool, all good. But again, a lot of them were on that parole status, temporary status, all that shit that got taken away. Shout out to the Haitians. Did y'all hear in New York like the Haitians were fighting ICE and they ran ICE up out of there? Did y'all hear about that? Put a 1. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Hold on, y'all. Haitians. Yeah, it was in Brooklyn. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Let's see if this is it right here. That's what the Latino community need to do. They need to fight back.
And a federal judge in New York has ruled to block a Trump administration plan to end temporary protected status for Haitian nationals. The administration wanted to end the TPS in September. The judge's ruling would extend it to its original deadline of February 2026. That would give 500,000 Haitians in the United States a temporary reprieve. The administration will likely appeal this judge's decision.
More than 500,000 Haitians in the country were set to lose their legal status by fall.
That was until this week when a federal.
What I want. Okay, they're gonna show. Okay, I might have to go to TikTok. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Because I'm worried about playing somebody else's video and then they try to strike me. I see a few TikTokers. Let me see real quick. This video. Okay, no, it's people giving commentary on it. Okay, sorry, y'all. I can't find it right now, but if I find it, I'll do like a YouTube short where I can show you guys. But that's the end of our show. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I love doing these kind of conversations. And on top of that, like I said, I'm not going to have no dummies in my chat. I'm going to do the best to give y'all the information. Y'all go research it, and then we talk about it. So I appreciate every single one of y'all for being here. Please be safe. Love one another. But we out. Deuces, everybody.